Hello, I'm Rody Jacobson, pastor here at Normandale Highlands United Methodist Church, and I am tickled, happy, thankful for the time you are spending now for your soul, the time that you are spending now for your relationship with God. This is time well spent. If you're familiar with this church, you may notice I'm in a very familiar place. I'm right at the altar, and I'm going to do something so simple that maybe you've seen it. I'll take these matches and light these candles. Blessed act that I can't wait till we do this together, worshiping here. But you notice this, and we see it. You see it now, because I'm, through the video, showing you what angle to see it. God, we know, through all the events, through the simple events, such as lighting a candle, or through the events of your past day, when you look at yesterday, when you look back at yesterday, there is a fullness to everything that happened. So I'm going to read a passage about God's invitation for us to see things, yes, as they are from this direction, but to see things even more richly and more fully, to see the fullness of all. And this passage comes from Romans 12. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. For by the grace given to me, I bid everyone among you not to think of yourself more highly than you ought to think, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith which God has assigned you. I invite you now to look back at even the ordinary things of your past day, and to do this in the fullness of God, in the love of God, in the care of God. And of all the things of the world, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by looking at your life and looking ahead from new perspectives, from God's perspective. So I'll pray, and I invite you to see these ordinary events, but in different timing and in different angles. And I invite you to look at the events around you, but with God's timing and from God's point of view. Will you pray with me? And as I pray, take time to consider your heart, your relationships, your events. Let's pray. Dear God, as we sit here now, as we stand here now, as we move about in our lives, we look back at the past few moments. We gather in and notice all that has been happening in our lives, all the actions that we've taken. We notice, dear God, all that has been beyond us and beyond our control. And dear God, now that we take time, we look for you through the events of the near past. Help us to see that the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness will not overcome. But help us to be transformed into who you created us to be. Help us to be transformed by the renewal of our minds, that we may live into your will and what is good and what is acceptable and what is perfect. Amen. God bless you.